All right, let's look at different scenarios and yeah, what we should do while you want to execute the carry trade. So in real life, you can observe two things. I think it's three. Let's just write it down. So, for example, you can have a forward contract with other parties. So at time zero and time t, at time zero, you're not going to know a lot of information of time t because you can't predict the future. The only thing that you can do is to use a specific model. And we are using a model of f0 should equal to future value of s0. This should hold. If it does not hold, we can do this arbitrage or carry trade. Okay? So this should hold. If it's not holding, we can do something about it. So let's do something like this. So for example, you enter into a specific contract and that F0 will be 106. Okay? But if you calculate something about the future value of S0, so say the S0's price will be 100 and current rate will be like the 5%. 1 year later, you got 100, 1 plus 5%, and 1 year later, so it will be 105. So the future value should have the value of 105, but it's 106. So you can do the arbitrage because 106 is bigger than 105 and F0 is bigger than future value of S0. So what I'm gonna do, if you already calculate that at time 0, what are you gonna do? Pretty simple. This is higher, this is lower. If something is lower, something is cheaper, so you have to buy this and you have to sell this. So basically, in finance jargon, you're going to long this, you're going to short this. Okay? So basically, you're going to long this and short this. This is one. This is at time zero's forward contracts. So what I'm going to do is to short forward at time 0. And short forward means that you enter into the forward contract to sell a specific underlying asset. Since you already enter into the forward contract and you are doing arbitrage, so you are going to sell a specific underlying asset at time t. But right now, you don't have that underlying asset. So you have to buy that asset. And you don't want to use the money. You may have your money, but you don't want to, use it. So you can borrow money. Borrow money at time 0 and borrow as 0 amount of money. So basically, it's borrow money, so short money. So short money of S0. And then you use that money to buy the asset. So buy this asset, underlying asset, whether it's a bond or maybe a stock, something like that. Don't really care. Okay, you just buy the underlying asset. So you long the underlying asset. So long plus. Okay, so what if a scenario that is completely like the flipped? So let's do this. So what if there's a scenario of the F0 and previously we discussed F0 that's bigger than future value of S0. So future value of S0, if it's less, Okay, so completely opposite scenario. And we're going to use the same method. If this is cheap, you're going to long. If this is in a higher price, you're going to short. So sell that. Okay? So how does this translate into the actual action? So you're going to long the forward contracts. So basically, you're going to enter into a forward contract that have a obligation for you to buy a specific thing at time t at the F0 price, which is set at the initiation. And since you have to buy that specific asset, you are going to need that amount of money to buy the asset. So how to get that amount of money? Pretty simple. Right now, you just need to short this specific underlying asset. So once you short assets, you get that amount of money, because right now if you short that, you sell that at the market. So you get this amount of money right now, and then you invest this amount of money into some risk-free assets. So in the perfect scenario, that will be, say, buying a specific bond or just save it in the bank, and you get a R specific interest rate. So you just save in the bank. If you save your money in the bank, basically you lend that money to the bank at the R rate. So that becomes pretty easy scenario from now on, because you lend that money, you will accrue interest, and at a specific time t, you will get repaid. So the money at time t you're going to receive will be S01 plus R compounded to the time t. That's the amount of money that you're going to receive. Once you receive that amount of money, you're going to use this money to buy the forward assets. Okay? And since you buy and short this forward, you sort of cancel out. There's no, there's no the open of the position. Okay, there's no position that is uncovered. And let me just be clear. If you are short a specific asset, basically you are, say, you're here, you want short that asset, but you don't have that asset. So you borrow the asset. So for example, you are A, there's a person B here. You don't have that asset. So person B do have that asset, and they just lend it to you, and you got that specific asset right now, and just you sell that at the market price. You sell that, but hey, the person B is still there. Okay, so you have to return this asset to B. How to return that to B? Don't forget, you enter into a forward contract to buy that specific asset using this F0 price. So once you, at time t, you already buy that asset, so you do have the asset, okay? And then you can return to your person B here. And in the meantime, you use the short money, so you sell that to the market, okay? So the market will give you money. You just save that in the bank. And then at time t, you can get a specific of the interest as well as money that you invested or lended to the bank. And then you enter, like you fulfill your duty of forward contract. You buy specific money, buy a specific underlying asset and return the asset to B. If there is more, then you gain. Okay, that's the other way round.